Good afternoon. The Beaufort County Board of Voters Registration and Elections meeting is now called to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Good evening and welcome to our September 27th Board of Voter Registration and Elections meeting. We are now ready for public comments. If we have anyone out there in the audience, please come forward, state your name, and you have 5 minutes. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Helga Crandall. I live in the Mossy Oak subdivision of the city of Beaufort. I have worked at all elections since 2017 as either a poll manager or a poll clerk. Election integrity and voter confidence is a hot-button issue. In April, Rasmussen polled this question for 6 days. How likely is it that cheating affected the outcome of the 2020 presidential election? 80% Republican, 64% independent, and 45% Democrat answered yes. Cheating affected the outcome of the 2020 election. In total, that is 62% of those surveyed that there was cheating. It is a bipartisan issue. American voters have lost confidence in our elections, in the election process. We have heard many elected officials and candidates say that there was election fraud in their races. Hillary Clinton, Kamala Harris, Stacey Abrams, Elizabeth Warren, and in these last years, Donald Trump. We even had an incident in Beaufort County that affected the confidence of our local elections when voters in District 6 and 8 were not registered properly after redistricting, and the incorrect ballot style was given to them at their polling areas. Election integrity and voter confidence is something that all election boards should have on their agendas. I believe that election boards should be active, not passive, in suggestions and actions to shut down bad actors, foreign and domestic. As first in the South, for both Democratic and Republican primaries, we can set the gold standard for election excellence, and I believe that we all can work together in a nonpartisan way to achieve this excellence. Earlier this month, the RNC wrote a resolution urging a return to excellence in America voting and elections. Again, voter confidence in our election integrity is low, and we should be looking at all valuable suggestions to repair this. I am aware that you all are serving on this board in a nonpartisan role, and I am approaching you today in a nonpartisan role as well. In this resolution, the following key factors are addressed: encouraging and maximizing participation, maintaining state, not federal control, ensuring swift and accurate results, keeping it local and easily accessible and geographical dispersed polling places, ensuring that only U.S. citizens vote, providing a non-electric option for voters, paper ballot systems that are auditable and voter verifiable. We are in a letter writing campaign right now, breaking down this resolution, looking at the problems and the solutions. We're addressing the whereases and the resolves back to back. We are educating voters as well as our legislator, Republican and Democrat, by sending out letters with small bites weekly. Our goal is to get the attention of the House Judiciary Committee and get them to write legislation that returns election integrity to excellence and increases confidence back to our election processes. I have brought each of you a copy of the resolution, the first 2 letters that we have already sent out, and the names of the members of the House Judiciary Committee. I would like to be able to send you copies of all the letters that we plan on sending out between now and January 9th, so that you can also be informed and educated as well. I don't know, is there a central email or a list of your work emails that I can reach you by? If not, I have included my contact information in this packet so that you can contact me. And I promise I will not give out your email addresses if you do not want me to. Thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
And pass them this way.
Please, don't leave a copy.
Hi, I'm Nancy Pardo York, and I live in Bluffton, South Carolina. And on what Helga was speaking with the RNC resolution, it would be great that we, as a state that is going to be first in the primaries in January, to be prepared for this. It's an amazing opportunity for us to look to this. I'm also really impressed with the fact that we are working towards small precincts. That's a really, really good place to be as far as we need to be, as far as having the precincts down to 1,500. I really honor that, and I respect that we're working towards that goal. The reason I'm here is a concern with what transpired in Lahaina and the fact that there could be another false flag here in our country. Are we prepared for that? We are first in the primary. Are we actually prepared? As a poll worker, were we really prepared to have a paper ballot situation where we could count our ballots if we had no electronics? I personally have been through a situation with Hurricane Andrew where we were out of electricity for 3.5 weeks. Are we prepared as a state to follow through with elections at a precinct level and not have electronics if a situation does occur where we do not have computers, where we do not have cell phones? Are we able to act on that? Is there a plan? I believe that we, as the board and the Board of Elections, should really consider that gold standard and look to examples of what we can do and research this and move forward, and maybe follow some of the RNC resolutions and possibly look at other options in case we end up in an emergency situation. Can we in Beaufort County be prepared in case there is an emergency? We are first in the primaries, and we do want to set that gold standard, and I really honor the position that each and every one of you are in, and the fact that we are working towards smaller precincts. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anyone else? All right. We will now move on to our minutes from our last board meeting. Did everyone get a copy of the minutes? They have had the chance to read over it. Can I get a motion, please?
I make a motion to accept the notes as written.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved by Matt Sweeney and second by Elizabeth, and also by Beverly Dorr as a second to accept it. Ready for question? All in favor says aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Number 4 says unfinished business, and we don't have any. Now we will move to our committee reports. First on the list is Facilities Committee. Do you have a report?
I have nothing to report on the Facilities Committee, but I'd like to comment, if I may, on some of the observation by our two speakers for this morning. I agree with you that a continuity of operations plan is something that is critical for any organization, particularly an organization of this nature. So I'm hoping that's something that we can get in place. When you talked about a plan in case there's a loss of electricity or some other event. In the government, we call it continuity of operation plan, or COOP plan, something that I'm very involved with in my previous life. So I agree with you, that's something is very important, and something I hope that we can try to facilitate prior to the next major election in 2024. In terms of false flag prevention, that is a concern of mine. Those kinds of things have occurred in the past, and I think they will continue to occur in the future, something we need to be prepared for. So that also is a very good suggestion, and one that I hope that this committee will make a concerted effort to prevent that from occurring here in Beaufort County. So thank you so much for your comments and your observations.
Okay, thank you. Finance Committee,
No new report.
Legislative Affairs Committee,
Legislative Affairs had an action item to follow up on a review of South Carolina Code Section 77-1000, which pertains to pooling precincts for municipal elections. Upon further review and discussion with members of our legislative delegation, I have decided to table that issue until after Bill H 3734 works its way through. That's the bill that is looking to kind of unify the required date for municipal elections. Pooling precincts for municipal election is a different issue than we addressed in 77110 and the proposed bill for that. So we will just table that until we know what changes will be made regarding municipal elections.
okay. All right, thank you. Representing,
Thank you, Madam Chair. I submitted a letter to the Re-precincting Committee on the 20th of September, asking if there is a reason why we should meet prior to our identification of new polling places, and I did not hear any comments. But my understanding is that once we have successfully identified new polling places and they have been finalized and compiled, then the Re-precincting Committee should meet. However, if there are reasons why we should meet before this process is finalized, then please notify me, and we will certainly discuss whatever concerns or whatever things that may need to take place through discussion and meeting. Thank you so much.
okay. Rules Committee,
So we met on July the 6th and went through and made a lot of changes to the rules. And those have been printed, sent to all the commissioners. And a few days ago, there were some recommended changes to be made, which we haven't had time to review yet. So we'll table the, any vote on the rules until the next meeting. We'll have a meeting here between now and the next board meeting.
okay. All right, we're now to, excuse me, to new business. Okay, excuse me, I apologize, have a little sniffle. First, I would like to commend the leaders of the board who have taken the opportunity to use their time to diligently do research, et cetera, in our operations and procedures manual. And as Craig said, that committee will get together and go back over and review to make sure that we have things perfected as well as possible. And in any manual, you will always have places where you may have to do some revision and date it so that way it would reflect on those changes. And also to Matt Sweeney for his prompt actions on, excuse me, on working to make sure that our polling places will be equipped for the 2024 election, which is going to be a major election starting with our presidential primary. We will be meeting in order to go over everything, and I am hoping that all board members who have precincts will be at that meeting next month. We're going to have that meeting before our regular official board meeting, so everyone will be abreast to what all is needed for our 2024 presidential primary and going forward. Excuse me, my apology, my throat is dry. The other note also is that we are now getting ready to move into our early voting, and I know we will have all hands on deck to make sure that we assist wherever we are needed. We just need to make sure that we verify with Ms. Marie, the director, on where we can help at the main office. And that way, we will make sure that our numbers are in on time and our results are accurate, and that also all of our poll workers are trained properly, and that all poll workers know that there is always a way that they can contact, and especially our clerks, to contact the board members. You may not be over that polling location, but should a clerk call you because they have a question and they may not be able to reach the board member for that polling location, my hope is that we will all be able to assist them, and that way we will all be working together for the same common goal, and that is about election integrity, to make sure that we are at our very, very best and doing a good job to represent Beaufort County and the people of the county, letting them know that we know our job and we are going to do it the right way. Excuse me. I believe that was the only couple of things I had. That was major, the operations manual that Craig spoke about, and also the BMD that Mrs. Sweeney will get with. Also, for the upcoming, excuse me, November election, I've asked a few of the board members about serving on this ad hoc committee that was mentioned about helping with the data from November, from the November election, just to see exactly where we are, so that way when we report, thank you, we'll be ready for February and going forward, as we will be very busy from February straight through maybe December of 2024. Beverly Dorr said she would serve on that ad hoc committee along with Matt Sweeney and Craig. They will review the results and get back to us and let us know their findings. Okay? That is all that I have. Anyone have any questions or comment? Oh, and one last thing I should have reported. I got an email on yesterday from Mr. Lucas. He's out of the state for a wedding, so he's not here with us today. And Mr. Wedgeworth, he is not here, for the records, to make sure that we document that properly. Okay, we're now ready for the director's report, please. Thank you. Thank you.
Jean, I'm going to need you to move it. Good afternoon again. We're going to stick to our four major categories that we typically talk about, which is legislative updates, election updates, facility updates, and little tidbits of things that's going on that don't fit under any of the other categories. So, the first thing that we're going to talk about under legislative update is the bill that was passed back in June on the Hilton Head Public Service District Number 1. They will have new districts at the Public Service District on Hilton Head, which is also effective in 2024. I spoke with the manager of the PSD on yesterday, and they are actively working on the redistricting of the PSD districts. It's going to be 7 districts. Right now, they have four districts, but I think 2 of those districts have 2 members.
One has 3.
One out of 3, okay. So anyway, it's going to be 7 individual districts, and they will be holding public comments, public sessions for comments. So as soon as they get that information to us, we will incorporate those into our voter registration system. I could not tell you a deadline yet, but to me, as soon as he can, because we have a lot going on with a short period of time to get it done. New poll worker training update. Out of the initiative that we did starting, I think, back in March, we've had 6 sessions training new poll workers, and we ended up with 76. So that's a great thing. It could be better, but I am grateful that we had 76 people that were interested so far as, serving as new poll workers. The recruitment is ongoing. So constantly, continuously encourage people, and we are continuously encouraging people to become poll workers. I believe a lot of the time, if folks are involved in the process, they will better understand the process, and that would make the elections integrity, or it will show up the election integrity, because we have people from all walks of life participating in the process. Since we met last, we have added on a new election, which is a special election for the city of Beaufort. We will be replacing the mayor due to his resignation. Candidate filing will open on October the 6th at noon, and it will close on October the 16th at noon, and the election will be on December the 12th of 2023. So that's something new to add to our agenda. Being that the City of Beaufort election has been turned over to our board, you will be certifying those election results. Okay? What we have here is the briefing scheduled for the upcoming November 7th election. We've got 2 extra sessions that we added just to make sure that everyone had an opportunity to participate and enroll in one of the sessions. We talked about this before. We were hoping that everyone, including board members, enroll in a session. And the reason for that is because if there is a poll worker for some reason that cannot make one of the scheduled sessions, guess what? Who's going to be doing the training? It's a possibility that you may be doing the training. However, we will try to accommodate them as best we can. So what we did is make sure anyone that's working in the election, they should be here the day before the election. We schedule one the day before the election. So those people who can't make any of the others should be able to make that one, okay? And if you have any particular issue that you encounter when you are talking to your poll managers, please let us know so we can help with those situations. All right. And board members, just a reminder that when you call your poll workers, please make sure that you let them know where they will be working. Once you have determined what precinct or polling location they will be working at, send that information into the office to Jean, and Jean will in turn reconfirm that by sending them an email letting them know the polling place that they will be working at and the position that they will be in, if they're going to be a clerk or a poll manager. And so she will send that to them as soon as she get that list from you, and they will in turn enroll in one of those sessions we talked about earlier. Board members, that's the website that we are talking about that they need to go to. You can also go to that website and sign up for one of the briefing sessions, whichever one is more convenient for you. And you can come to more than one if you like. We don't mind. Our 2023 database has been tested. New voter registration cards are set to be mailed to several of our voters whose polling location has changed since the last election, and these are them listed. Bluffton 2B, which is a polling precinct that's been reporting to the Buckwalter Gymnasium. We have 4 precincts voting there. This one will come out from Buckwalter and go to the H.E. McCracken Middle School. So those folks will be getting a new voter registration card. Rose Hill, we had them scheduled at, I think they were at the Bluffton Middle School. They are actually going back to their original location, which is Colleton Point Clubhouse. Their renovation is finished. It took like almost 2 years, so they've been voting at the other place since then. So they will be going back home to Rose Hill. They will be getting a voter registration card to remind all those voters where to go. Palmetto Bluff is a new location. They will be reporting to the Palmetto Bluff POA meeting room, and this will be the first time we use that facility. So those folks will be notified to report there. Hilton Head 2A is Indigo Pines. They've been at the library because of COVID, and due to COVID, they were not allowing us to use Indigo Pines, but now they are letting us do that, so they are going back home to their original polling location. Hilton Head 3 is a new location. They were at the library. They will be reporting to Palmetto Golf Club, and they are going to be getting these voter registration card, and we will also be putting up signs at their locations to redirect them if they, for some reason, didn't open the envelope to see where they will be going. The Cypress is in the same situation. We were temporarily removed from the Cypress because it's an assistant living facility. They want their folks back, so Hilton Head 4B will be going back to the Cypress. And Plantation, Hilton Head 5A will be going to the Plantation House. They used to go to Dolphin Head, and we are not able to use Dolphin Head for this election, and I'm kind of thinking future elections as well. So until we find a new home for Hilton Head 5A, they will be voting at the Plantation House on Hilton Head. The uniform and overseas voters, UOCAVA voters for the 2023 elections, those ballots were already sent out. It was sent out on Friday. We had 105 UOCAVA ballots. I would want to commend our board members for beating the bushes, looking for new polling locations. And so this is kind of like an update to the list that we had the last time. The new ones are really starting with the bottom one, which is May River and Broad River Village Management, which is it's a complex right on Highway 170. We have not met with them yet. We have a meeting with them on tomorrow to evaluate the facilities, and hopefully they will meet our standards. And if they do, they have pretty much committed to letting us using them. The May River Baptist Church has agreed to let us use them. That's a brand new facility. I don't think we've been out there yet to evaluate it, but they have agreed. So we will be setting up an appointment to evaluate that. And the next page, all new. So you should be proud of yourselves. You did a great job. The May River Baptist Church, we talked about that one already, right? May River High School, the school system has agreed to let us use May River High School, which is big. That's a big thing because a lot of the growth is in the New River, May River area of Bluffton. So the high school is now available to us. Broad River Elementary, Okatee Elementary, River Ridge Academy, Bluffton Middle School was a temporary location, but they have agreed to let us use them on a regular basis. Hilton Head Christian Academy has also agreed. The Haven. I think I've already talked about Broad River Village. The Haven is tentatively anew. We may be using that one as a backup because they are in the same precinct as May River High School. So if we get both of them, if one is not available, we could go to the other. So you guys did a great job. Thank you all, but do not stop. Yes.
I just wanted to add one additional new precinct that I was able, polling place,
Okay.
that I was able to confirm today, and it's Grace AME Church. I did email you the pertinent information regarding the mailing address, the physical address, the contact person, the telephone number, etc. So
Thank you.
I would like to proudly announce that one
Okay,
for
very good.
Ladies Island.
Very good. Thank you. Like I said, just keep it coming. We need as many places as we can get. And one that we don't have on the list, I'm waiting to hear back from too, is the 1100 Boundary Street, which is right downtown. Used to be the old Boys and Girls Club. We may have that one as well. So I might be out of Green Street, Jim.
Marie,
Yes.
since we have an election, our elections are coming up pretty close, how quickly could we get notification to all of our constituents about their new polling places?
The cards are being processed right now.
And will they identify these places as well?
I'm sorry?
Will they identify these new places as
Yeah.
well?
No, the only places the ones that will be getting new cards are the ones that are moving there for the first time. And that's only two of them, which will be Palmetto Bluff and Palmetto Hall. Those are the only two new ones. These other ones will not go online until 2024 when we implement the new precincts.
Okay, and we will notify them again in the beginning of 2024.
Yes, sir,
Get
we
new
will.
cards.
Now, I must tell you, they will be receiving voter registration cards, and we will make public announcement for everybody to look for those voter registration cards in the mail, because it's a tendency for a lot of them to be returned to us. And it's just amazing to me that a voter can register to vote today. We send them a card, and it gets returned because they are not at that address. So we get that all the time. But when we do those mass mail out, we do get a lot of them back. And it also helps us to help clean up our rolls, because then when the cards return, we will then know that this voter may no longer be at this resident. Okay? We are working with our IT department to get the wiring into the early voting site at the Bluffton Recreation Gym. We went out there and did the preliminary evaluation or assessment of things that they may need, and they will be back out there very soon and should be ready before we open up early voting for this election. An update on the addition to the facility at 15 John Galt Road. It's moving along very well. And they have the dirt out there already. They have moved the wiring for the air conditioning to another side so that it wouldn't interfere with what's going on in the back. And just got word a few minutes ago that the completion date will be January of 2024, which is a little bit sooner than we had anticipated. So that's good news. All right. Skip that one. I think you pulled up the wrong slide, but skip that one. Okay, the poll worker database.
I'm sorry, may I ask a question? At some point, I don't know its proper.
Is it? I don't,
Already had public comment.
is it?
I apologize.
Yeah. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
That's only doing public
Already had
comments.
public comment already.
Yeah,
haven't we?
Yep,
Yeah.
you're fine.
Poll worker database. We already talked about the poll worker database, didn't we? Anyway, we are working on the poll workers database as well, I would guess. I don't know what that bullet is for. I think that was probably from the last slide. But some good news, Jean and I did 2 5-minute segments on 843 TV WHHI back on September the 6th. And I'm hoping some of you guys saw it. It was just tidbit information about elections, election integrity, poll workers, about the absentee processes. And it was really quick, but it was to the point. And on September the 18th, Jean also did another one about registering voters and about poll workers. So we are out there on the media. Keep a lookout. We're going to be doing some more media blasts just to remind people of things that they need to do between now and election dates. Now, 2023 election, which is in November, please know that that's a county-wide election, so all of us are involved in that. Initially, it started out being just for 3 municipalities, but we have Fripp Island that's doing a referendum on that ballot. The school board is doing a referendum. The town of Yamasee have their election as well. So it's a lot in this little off-election year that's going on November the 7th. Results for the election will be publicized on the state website, scvotes.gov, website like you would normally see it doing the general election. So the election results will be publicized by the state.
I do have a couple questions. You alluded that when you send out voter registration cards and they're returned as undeliverable, that you use that to clean up the voter rolls. Can you elaborate on the process that you use when that comes back specifically?
Yeah, when we send those out, sometimes the post office will put a yellow, we call it a yellow
Right.
sticker
Yeah,
on there to tell us that this person has moved.
it's a forwarding address, there's a lot of times.
I'm sorry?
Like a forwarding address sticker or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's either a forwarding address or say undeliverable for whatever
Mhm.
reason. But I think it's two different stickers that they put on.
okay.
But when we see that, then we will be able to make those voter, at least recommend that they be placed on inactive status
Okay.
if they have moved out of the area.
Okay, now if they've moved to a different location within Beaufort County, what do you do? According to the sticker?
If they have moved, even if we put inactive move, when they come to vote, if they show up
Right.
to vote, they can be reactivated.
Okay, so they'll be reactivated then? And have to vote a provisional ballot, I assume? Or a fail-safe? Fail-safe,
Not necessarily.
okay,
Not necessarily. If they are in the system and we log them in as inactive move, but they didn't move,
mm-hmm,
then, they would just be reactivated.
okay. But if they've actually moved, but you don't do anything, you don't attempt to contact the voter or anything of that nature?
If they actually move, we can update their address, at that time, doing early voting. But if,
Yeah, I
if
knew
they
that.
move out of that precinct to another precinct,
Right.
to another location, then, that would probably create a fail-safe
Right.
issue. But being that this is a one ballot question, kind of like, they would have to go back to their precinct and they will be able to vote.
But you don't do anything else to follow up? You don't try to attempt to call them or send something to the new address or anything of that
No,
nature?
ma'am.
Okay,
And see, the state actively do that as well.
okay.
Matter of fact, they just sent out a mail out last month, and the deadline to receive those responses was like September the 11th. So, if they have not received a response from the folks that they sent those notices to, they will be placed on inactive status.
Just a question. You mentioned that there was a 4-member audit team and SEC field representative visited the department. Was there any written report or any feedback that was given to the department?
Not yet. This is a new project that the state has implemented, so they will be auditing every county. And, I guess because we have something with the league, we were one of the first ones to be audited. I think the audit went well. Of course, I have no idea what the end results are going to be. But they did say that, the results will be discussed prior to publication. They all will be publicized.
Okay, I just wanted the board to be aware of, anything that we might need to do differently or, any new changes or suggestions. I
Yeah,
just-
they asked for a lot of information. There were certain things that they were looking for, and, we had everything that they needed. We had to send it to them in 3, 4 different emails because it was too big to send in one email. But I think we did well. I don't know what their assessment of things were, because I think it's gonna be pretty much what they could see and what we could produce.
Oh, thank you.
See, I felt good about it.
Anyone else?
Regarding the continued objective to identify new polling locations, obviously, there's been a lot of new ones added to the list recently. Do do you have a list of target areas where, there still is a need for new locations? I mean, can we hone in on a little bit more geographically on where we need new locations?
In Bluffton.
Mostly, but there are other areas of the county that we need to touch on. So what we will do, we can look at, see what we have, because that's happened already, where we had several precincts or several locations, and they are so close together, the precincts are all in the same polling location. So which kind of like defeat the purpose, because the whole idea is to have one precinct per polling location. But if all the polling locations say the same thing, if we get an exemption, we will be able to work with that as well.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Wow. Okay. Closing comments? Anybody have any closing comments? I'll make one. I would just like to, again, to thank the board members for working diligently and getting polling locations, and to assure us that we will have enough poll workers for the November election. And I want to thank Craig Pelly for his assistance in being a team player, because as everyone knows, Bluffton is just growing and growing, and I was able to have 11 of his workers who were volunteering from right to left, and that is what you call teamwork, because we have the mayor election, town council, and the referendum. So that's how we work together as a team. We help out each other in order to get the job done. So thank you again, Craig, and I thank everyone on the board for all that you do and all that you will continue to do. And one other thing too, I've been under the weather for the last week or two, so I may have missed some telephone calls and emails because of Spectrum, the internet. You have internet problem where there's a lot of rain and you have internet without it for a whole week or two. So I don't believe in ignoring calls. I believe in making them, even if it's a little bit late. So I do apologize if I miss anyone's email or phone call. And again, I thank each and every one of you. That's it? Wow, okay. Our next board meeting is scheduled for October 25th, same place and same time. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, it's been properly moved and second at this meeting. It's now adjourned at 2:50 p.m.